Okay, so at this point, what you should have is you should have all of these links on the left-hand side working. So if I make this a little bit bigger and I run it in Chrome, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink it way down and make sure that my links do in fact work. And what should happen as you click on each one of these is if I click on Agave Americana, that Agave Americana pops up right at the top of my window. Click on Desert Spoon, same thing. If I click on Golden Barrel, same thing. And if I click on Prickly Pear, the same thing. Now, the smaller you make your window, the more you'll actually see these target links working. So make sure you test those out, make sure they all work. If you're having some issues, make sure you ask a question. I'm sure that one of your peers or myself can take a look at your code and kind of identify maybe the error that's taking place, or maybe re-reference the previous video, make sure that you are utilizing targets in the correct way. But you should have these targets in this unordered list working. So that's the first piece. Now what we're going to do, now that we've got those added in, is we're going to add in a target to the top of the page so that we can link back to the very, very top. So if we want to have a target link at the top of our page, we need to add in anchor tags for this. And remember, with these particular anchor tags, because we're creating a target, we actually don't want any text in between these tags. So no text in between them, nothing's going to actually appear on the screen. All we're doing is naming a location that we can then link to if we choose. And I'm just going to name that location top. So again, remember that creating this target uses the name attribute, and we're just naming this location so that we can link to it. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to link after each one of these different plants. So here I can see I have the Agave Americana, and after this I'm actually going to put on the screen a paragraph tag that says to top, because I actually want this to appear on the screen. So if I save it and if I run it in Chrome, I'll see right beneath here it says to top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a link out of this. So I'm actually going to link this text back to the target at the top. So I'm going to actually put a now anchor tag in there around those words. And I'm going to link it using the href attribute, and I'm going to link it to top. And remember that because we're using a target, we need to have a hashtag. So anytime that we're linking to a target, we communicate that via a hashtag in the name. So now if I save this and I run it in Chrome, if I scroll down, I can now click on to top, and it takes us right back. So what I'd like you to do is you need to add in one of these two tops after Desert Spoon, after Golden Barrel, and after Prickly Pear. That's something that I need you to add in. I'm not going to formally do it. So you need to add those all in to those parts of the code. So I would pause the video, add those in, and then if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, when you're done and you have all of those links working, you can then move on to the next part of the video. So then you'll be able to press play and watch linking with images. So finish that part up first. Okay, so assuming you're done with those two top links, the last thing we're going to look at are things called image links. So image links basically use images to link to other web pages, to link to targets or other documents. Essentially, the idea is that we're just using an image as a link rather than a piece of text, which is kind of cool. We can program an image to be clickable so it will link to another page. So here what we're going to do is we're actually going to link the image at the very, very top of this program. So what I'd like you to do is put anchor tags around this image. And what we're going to do is we're going to link this image back to the previous web page. So we're going to go back to that Plant World home page. So here I'm going to add in that href attribute, so hyperlink reference, and I'm going to put in the URL of what I'd like to link to. Now what I'd like to link to is that plantworld.html that I already programmed. So I have plantworld.html. I add those in. And then what I should be able to do if I now run this in Chrome is I should be able to click here, and it takes me back to my Plant World homepage. So now I have links forward and backwards between these two pages. So at this point, as long as you have all of your links working, including this unordered list and all 4 top links that you should have added in, and this connection here, you have now finished your first web page that contains links. So you are now done with the content for Unit 2. You can get started on Worksheet 2D, and then when you're done with that, you'll get started on your first project that you'll do independently that contains links.